Hi guys, this is Claudia here for We Don't Care magazine, and it's Metaldays 2016 in Tolmin, Slovenia. And now we have Infernal Tenebra here, and you were the first one to play today on a festival, right?
Sure, yeah, we were the opener today, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was a great pleasure, because we played in 2011,
Yeah.
and we were like co-headliners on the second stage, so it's a big step for us now to be openers for the main stage, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And also the weather was good because you had sun, right? And now it's raining.
Yeah, sure, we were very lucky, yeah.
So you have a new album out,
Yeah.
am I right? So you want to tell me something about the writing process about this?
Yeah, actually, when we finished our previous album, New From Revelations, which was out in 2012, we did some promotion. We went to Japan to tour with Rotten Christ and Havoc and Raid. And after that, we took that experience and everything, and tried to push our game forward. So we wrote this new album, which is called As Nations Fall, and it came out in January this year through Massacre Records, and we're currently promoting it. In March we did our tour with Suffocation and Cattle Decapitation throughout Europe. So now we're doing summer festivals. Yeah, so we've been to Romania on Metalhead Meeting, we went to Slovakia to Gotham, and now it's Metaldays and a few more. Tomorrow we go to Rome because we're supporting Testament over there. So yeah, it's a busy summer, but we're enjoying it, yeah.
And when you were writing for your new album, what were the ideas you had in mind? Like, what was the message and the things that went on in your heads when you were writing it?
Yeah, well, actually, I think we kind of anticipated what was to happen in Europe with all the immigrants and all the crisis and everything. So we had our whole concept done before everything broke loose, with all the immigrants, with all this shit that's going on throughout Europe. So I think it's the right time for an album like that, Yeah. And the message is really clear, I mean, it all comes out to one person's rights and human rights and everything, It doesn't matter where you're from, sometimes it's maybe only luck if you're an immigrant or you're from a good country or something like that. So we're all human beings and we gotta treat each other with respect, and everything, yeah.
I also read that for you it's very important to think and talk about values in society and to find like a place in society. What do you think about musicians, especially metal musicians, and their place in society? What do you think about that?
Well, I have a lot of experience on this matter because actually I'm a professor at the university, so it's kind of strange sometimes for people to see a person who's actually a metalhead and actually performing musician, and at the same time an assistant professor and everything. So sometimes it's kind of confusing for people to see this combination, but I think we're here to break boundaries, and to just to show people that we can push ourselves, all our potentials, and be a better people, So it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, in your life, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. So you can work hard, you can have fun, and you can be successful and everything. So, and you can bring something to the table, We have our music, which we find it's somehow unique. It's unique to ourselves, and I see from our audience that they get this feel sometimes, So it's growing, the audience is growing. So I think we're on the right path, and we just gotta push it, and I think it's gonna be okay for us.
And so, what do you teach actually?
Well, I'm into information systems, so there's a lot of shit that I teach, from like more graduate stuff from concerning artificial intelligence to more undergraduate stuff where people actually do not know how to use computers still, yeah. So it's pretty messy, you know.
There's an on button.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And if you think about your teaching now for those who just start on computer stuff, and you think about people listening to music but not really to metal, could you try to explain to them what metal is?
Well, I mean, I started listening to metal when I was a kid, you know, so probably today I don't really know why I still listen to that music, but I think that's also a good thing, you know, because if I don't know the real reason, but it's still pushing me to this music, then there's something in this music that's actually good, you know, and that's like sucking me into, you know. So I'm just enjoying it, and actually we never write songs on purpose, you know. It's just what comes out from us, you know. So when I pick up my guitar, you know, it's always some fucked up riff that's coming out, and you know, and all the lyrics and my voice, that's it's really rough and everything. So it's like normal to us, you know. I don't really know if this is metal or not. I know it's the music that I create, and I don't give a fuck what it's called, you know. It's my music, and I also, when I hear my favorite bands, their music is also very good to me. So I don't care what it's called. I don't care about the sub-labels and everything. I know it's good. I know I like it, and I know I want to listen to it. Yeah. So that's about it, you know.
So it's a lot about feelings, really, and values. And what about your instrumentation? There's, you know, a lot of guitar players with special sounds and effects and special guitars and amps and all that stuff. What is like for you?
Well, I think we have a pretty basic setup. So we're using mostly stuff like I don't know, a tube screamer in front of an amp. Maybe we use polytune pedals nowadays for tuning. We use a simple noise gate, you know, just to control the sound a little bit, and we use you know, like normal high gain modern amps. So that's pretty about it, you know. We try to keep it normal and everything, so it's okay, you know. Yeah. When I was younger, I was really picky about that and everything, you know. But later on, I concentrating more on music and less on equipment, you know. Yeah. And you know, since we're pretty much touring a lot and going around with the airplanes and everything, you tend to shrink your rig a little bit so you can be mobile, you know. So it was like, you know, first it was growing into rack cases and everything, but later on it became down, shrinking, so everything can be like put up in your pocket and everything, so you're always ready to go, you know. Yeah.
So probably this is also an advice for young bands starting out to play around with the sound, but if you're once on the road,
well,
you have to shrink it.
Well, I think it's good to experiment with. Sometimes pick up some equipment and try to incorporate that in our sound, you know. But it all comes down to certain songs, to a certain feeling or vibe you're trying to accomplish. But in the end, I think we're pretty satisfied with this. Like I can say, a reduced equipment that we use, because then we're more concentrated on the performance, you know, not on our equipment and you know, just tinkering around and everything. So just wanking with the knobs, you know. I don't want to do that, you know. Yeah.
And about your voice, did you have like a teacher, or did you try to copy somebody, or how did you get like the technique?
Well, actually, when I was younger, I was singing in a choir, and then I had a personal teacher, so I was doing some opera singing and everything, you know. But my influences and everything, you know, it was always pushing me towards classical death metal bands, you know. So I think my biggest influences are bands like Death, Carcass, stuff like that. From the vocalist point of view, I think one of the most similar, or let's say one of my main influences, is Chuck Billy from Testament. So it's a great pleasure, to be sharing the stage with him tomorrow. And actually, we did 2 shows with them already recently in Riga and Vilnius. Yeah, and it was great. Yeah, Yeah.
So I thank you very much for the interview and enjoy playing.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.